Hi, my name is Danielle Kim. My thesis started from my own personal interest in how brands establish their identity and communicate with consumers through signifiers like logos and the way that new technology will enable future forms of responsive identity. Based on this interest, I cast questions to investigate in my thesis. What is a brand identity and flexible identity? What are flexible identities method? What will the future forms of responsive logo flex under the ever-changing and fast-moving society? What makes a logo flexible? How can brands use a logo to respond to and take advantage of development of technology and different kinds of media? With having these questions and my curiosity in mind, I will briefly deal with the history and the meaning of brand identity, the ways to create differentiation. Based on this information, I will indicate the existing problems of static logos and my proposal for new forms of brand communication through responsive, dynamic, data-rich logo system through four distinct projects. The definition of a brand has grown from claiming property to indicating a company's personality or services. A brand is now all about people's reputation or perception of a company. The goal of a brand is also to build a strong brand relationship in people's mind and create differentiation from competitors. Different from brands, brand identity is a visual language, including logo, type, colors, images, and more, which can indicate a company's value and personality to create reliability and recognizability. As the advancement in technology and the expansion of media, such as the internet and different kinds of social media, has called on brands to be more dynamic and to move with digital speed. Brand identities are starting to be changeable, adaptable, flexible, and dynamic in their designs. In regards to the necessity of being flexible in brands, Irene Van Ness, an expert in a brand identity, encourages flexibility of brand, saying that we are living in a living world with living organizations that cry out for living brands. She emphasized that a brand identity has to grow, evolving, adapting to new circumstances, and various technologies have created more diverse design. An early example of this would be the MTV logo, designed in 1981, with the letter M and T V being used as fixed containers. It would contain various colors, patterns, illustration in it, which could be considered as an adaptable logo design. First of all, as a way to explore dynamic identity, I focus on producing multiple iterations of logo types and embracing people's ideas in logos to solve one of the existing brand problems. The top down and one sided communication from company to people does not reflect people's opinion in a brand. And it is against the existence of a brand of a brand. By creating a basic shape ruler, including a triangle, square, circle, it will reflect people's way of seeing a logo type and their opinions when they drew a logo type. Furthermore, the basic shape ruler will make various logo outcomes, leading people to participate in a brand and to have more attachment in an emotional level. Then I investigated the literal meaning of flexibility in logo shape using the Apple logo. The lexical meaning of a flexible is the status of bending easily without breaking in response to the external input. Thus, I deconstructed its shapes to express a variety of dynamics in logo shape. These are the some parts of variation with Apple logos. Digging into the ways of being dynamic in a logo, I created city logo design for Korea's seven metropolitan cities, including Seoul, Busan, Daegu, Gwangju, Daejeon, Ulsan, and Sejong. I utilize an underlying 13 by 11 grid to create various logo designs using four variables. The four variables are time period, colors, temperature, weather status, and fine particles. These were represented into type weights, colors, shapes, and blur. Type weights indicate time period. Colors are for the current temperature. Particles shapes shows the weather status. And the level of blur is to present the ratio of the fine particles in the air. These are the 7 metropolitan cities examples. Further into the second city logo project, I produced various logos using customizable variables depending on the users. The basic parameters are time, temperature, latitude, longitude, subway and bus lines, day counter, due date, to-do list. The things I think most people want to see in a day. The shape of the logo will be composed of these variables and it will keep updating their information, changing its shapes. The last project is about the expansion of a brand adaptability into different industries other than creative areas, such as museums, schools, and broadcasting, and etc. Through the first and the second project, I focus on creating multiple iterations utilizing different parameters in the logo. But for this project, I wanted to apply this method into a different and serious industry brand. Thus, I chose the brand a Center for Disease Control and Prevention called CDC to suggest flexibility in its brand. As a way to change the logo, I came up with the idea of showing the current pandemic status in their logo, utilizing four different variables such as infection, death, recovery, and vaccinated rate to change its logo box. The basic logo uses four different blue colors, but if a pandemic happens, it will show the level of risk with five different colors. This is the website design and application design, and this is one of the snapshot from the animation that I made. Basically, it shows the level of four different variables according to the each state. And other than four distinct projects, I also tried different ways to represent flexible identities. Through these four projects and other projects, Apple two different city logo projects, CDC logo, the advancement in media and interfaces tend to be a shaping force in the future of brand construction. Consumers will no longer respond to the existing static brand and its one-way top-down communication. Brands will have to turn into adaptable, dynamic, communicative signifiers in order to stay relevant. The future brand is not just a symbol, it will be an aggregation of experiences that merges the value of brands and consumers, deepening ties of loyalty and reciprocity. Thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate your comment and critique. Thanks.